Hey y'all, it's your girl Anike with Crown Mama because we are all crowned and blessed to be mamas and we're all just trying to get through this. So hopefully you like my perspective. If not, have a blessed day. If you do want to hear my perspective on things, stick around. Hello. Sorry if you hear a bunch of water in the background. We are having a major storm right now. And today was the day I planned on recording a couple videos, and the rain said we're gonna knock out your power, so use natural light, and also we're gonna storm, so you're gonna hear the water. So I'm sorry. Hopefully it's calming though. You can just let's actually take a moment and listen to the rain. Of course it slows down. Anyway, today's video is going to be my journey personally to get back to myself. Now, I know you hear moms talking about that all the time. Like, oh, I don't feel like myself anymore. I just want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back. And the kicker is there's no going back. There's no going back because you are a different person now. You went through pregnancy, you gave birth, and now you have a whole little life to take care of. And they need you. And therefore you won't ever be able to be the same person. You're always gonna of course you're still you know, but now what you do and how you do it is surrounding another child. Now if that's not how you feel, then you're probably able to get a lot closer. But for me, I know that I would like to be almost everything for my baby, especially right now. He doesn't know his entire existence. He's only ever known me. Therefore, when he comes out, he's going to be looking for me. And therefore, I'm going to look, I'm going to look out for him, make sure he has everything that he needs. So it's just been hard. I wrote down some notes. And what I needed to reflect on, right, was, for one, I needed to reflect on the good habits lost. So back before baby, right, before my first baby, I was going to the gym at least 3 times a week. I had a morning routine where I stretched, I did some little workouts, and then I meditated for at least 5 minutes, sometimes closer to 10-20 minutes, and that was like my every single day. I got pregnant. I didn't necessarily lose that morning routine, but it just got harder as I didn't want to wake up as much. I still stretched, but it just like life just got super busy because I was trying to work more to save up money because I knew I would be working when I came back. It just life just got a little more hectic, and mom brain, you just sometimes just forget stuff. But the biggest thing lost was going to the gym. I used to roller skate like 3 times a week. I have my own roller skates. I now have 2 pairs of roller skates. I got a new set for Mother's Day. I'm so happy. I love those roller skates. Only worn them like once, and I need to go back. I might go next Tuesday to my local roller rink because I miss roller skating. But yeah, I lost a lot of good habits. So it's like a couple months postpartum, I'm starting to have a routine with my baby, and I'm just like, why do I still feel so unhappy? Why do I still feel so empty inside? And I realized it's like, girl, you don't do almost none of the stuff that you did before that literally just helped you stay you in the first place. Like, you don't stretch anymore. You don't even do push-ups. You don't go roller skating. You don't, there was so many things that I stopped doing just because I became a mom, and just because I literally just lost myself in motherhood. I feel like that happens to a lot of us. You just lose yourself in the role, and then you're just like, how do I get back? And you don't know. And the first thing is to reflect on the things that you used to do. So reflect on the habits lost, and then the hobbies lost, because more than likely you forgot something. I used to go bowling all the time. I bowled all the way up till I was 5 months pregnant, and then the balance thing. I barely go bowling anymore, and that's something that I wish. My baby's a year old, and this is something I reflect on. When did I write this? I wrote this back in August of this year, so it's already 4 months later, and I'm still having trouble getting back to all my habits. Now my morning routine is starting to come back. I am starting, like I said, I'm probably gonna go roller skating next week. There's some hobbies and things that I'm bringing back, but just know it takes time, and know that you have time. I think that's also something else we continue to forget. We feel like it has to happen so soon, it has to happen right now, but the same way how your baby's not gonna grow up in a day, you won't be able to come back to exactly how you were in a day. Babies are continuously changing, whether it's sleep habits or it's eating habits, or just they're learning a new skill. There's just things are constantly changing for them. Therefore, you're constantly having to change and adapt. So it's gonna take time, and that's completely fine. You have it. You don't know how I know you have it? Because you didn't die. Don't think that it does not have to happen immediately. Like, you have all the time until you die, and you know what? If you die, you die. So don't think you have to rush unless you literally like, no, I know I'm gonna die in a year, so I have to hurry up. But if you don't know the day that you're gonna die, relax, take your time, get there. Because when you stress about it, that's it. Because even as I wrote this, I remember writing it and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get back to myself so soon because I know this, and this. And I was just so confident that I still not. So, and I'm not upset. I'm actually very grateful for the growth that I've had, because I'm finding new ways to do the thing. So my morning routine, I used to, before baby, I used to just be able to wake up whenever I woke up and just do the routine, right? I have to wake up before my baby wakes up. And then I find myself like in the middle of my routine, go ahead and figure out how I can go ahead and start my day so that I can get ahead of my baby, so that when he wakes up, I can really focus on him and not have to worry about, oh, I got to make coffee, I got to do this, I got to do this. Well, that's already handled. So it's just a new way of doing it, but I feel grateful for it because now it's making me more efficient in my mothering and my wifing. Because, I do I'm not the only one eating coffee, drinking coffee, or eating my breakfast, right? So things like that, okay? So you have to reflect on your good habits lost, your hobbies lost, and your personality possibly lost. Were you more bubbly? Were you more serious? Were you what was it before that you might not be anymore? And then is it that you want to get back there? Or is it more so just, I don't feel like myself because I'm not doing that anymore? But is it necessarily a bad thing, right? Before, I used to be a lot more trusting of people. Now that I can say, I used to be a lot more trusting of people. I didn't necessarily worry where I was going. I was like, nobody gonna mess with me, blah, blah, blah. And it's not that I'm necessarily worried that somebody's gonna mess with me, but now I got my baby with me half the time. So I'm a lot more weary of the people that interact with me and my baby. You know what I mean? So I might not be all like, oh, hey, how you doing? Like all the time, especially when I'm with my baby. Like, I'm nice, but I'm most definitely a little bit more closed off just to make sure that I'm protecting me and my child, right? So I'm not upset that part of me is not around anymore. If anything, it's an adaptation for this little life that I have to protect, right? So also think about that. I suggest that don't make the things that you might have lost, try to see why that side of you might not be there anymore. Is it just like you forgot? Or is it that, that aspect of myself no longer serves me, therefore it had to go? Steps taken to get back on track. So these are the steps that I took, right? Like I said, what did you do for yourself before the baby? What did you do for yourself? Not what did you do? What did you do for yourself? For me, it was roller skating and bowling and my morning routine. Those are the 3 things that I did for myself. If I had a stressful day, I wanted to do any of those 3 things, right? And I knew that I would be able to come back to myself. Again, things that, my morning routine, like I said, is the most important one. But I'm slowly figuring out how to get stuff back, right? Find a way to incorporate that into your life today. So on mornings, I don't wake up before my baby, right? I'm gonna just stick with the morning routine because that's the easiest one to talk about. On mornings I don't wake up before him, what I will do is as soon as he wakes up and I change his diaper, I schedule my coffee maker. So if I'll go ahead and have that scheduled so I can make it, or I don't have to make it, I could just add the creamer and call it a day. Excuse me, I just burped. I was trying not to make it loud. But yeah, I'll go ahead and schedule it. And then while he's playing on the floor, I'll start stretching. Now, sometimes he'll join me and stop me from stretching, and then I forget that I was even stretching. But I'll try to still stretch my body real good, and then I'll sometimes use him. I was doing that a lot when he was like 6-ish months old. I would use him, so I would do like little push-ups with him, like throw him, and he loved that stuff. And then I would do calf raises with him and do funny faces, just so that I still was able to do a little bit, and I was incorporating him into it, and he was having a ball. So it's like he was almost looking forward to that when I was doing that all the time. So yeah. And also, I did stop doing it for a little while because I would be tired, or I went back to work. It would just be something. So again, it takes time for it to be solidified. And like I said, when they're babies, stuff is always changing. So you're going to change. The biggest thing is not being stuck in I can't believe I'm not doing this anymore. I don't feel like, just know that this is literally just a season. I be thinking about that sometimes, like, because like even though this year has passed, this year felt like it went by fast, but it still felt so long at the same time. So it's like, even though I know it's been a year, at the same time, I'm just like, this took so long and I'm still not doing the things that I said I was going to do. So it's okay, mama. Just know that. But yes. What did you do before the baby? Find a way to incorporate that into your life today, and then commit to the small changes and work on the bigger. So the small change with the morning routine was just like, okay, instead of him just playing on the floor and you're just sitting there watching him, or you're playing with the toys with him, start stretching on the floor if that's your routine. Or let's say that you are more so a person like, oh, I used to go on runs all the time. I don't go on any runs. Well, get a stroller, start walking your baby around, right? Especially if they're awake, go ahead and put them in the stroller. Get that outside time, right? And then if they're sleeping and you have a partner home, go ahead, take them jogs. That's more so a bigger change, in my opinion. That would be a bigger change for me. Yeah, commit to the small changes that you can implement, and then just work on the bigger ones. Like for me going roller skating, that's a big change because that's me having to step away from my baby. I have to pump before I go. I have to make sure I'm back in time. I have to make sure food is figured out so that when I come back, I can just eat. Because, breastfeeding makes you hungry all the time. So there's things of that nature, right? So that would be a bigger change, which is one reason why it's still not solidified. I've gone roller skating since August, but it's not something that I'm not doing 2-3 times a week. And that's probably something I won't be able to do for myself until my babies are old, right? Older. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. It really just takes time. But like I said, I think the biggest thing is understanding that, number one, you're not the same person anymore. And I'm not saying that like, oh, some people, birth was a traumatic thing that changed you forever. I enjoyed my birth very much so. I tell people I had fun because that's how I remember it. Actually, I remember it being extremely uncomfortable, but I remember it being a good time. Like every time I think about my birth, I always put a smile. I can give my birth story on another day. The biggest thing is, yeah, just relaxing in the idea that you're a new person now. And if that thought scares you or you don't like that thought, that is something you're really gonna have to meditate on, pray on, whatever. You need to think on that because it's just the reality, right? It's not that you're literally a different person. It's just your life has changed. And for some people for the better, for some people for the worse. But you know what? It's not the baby's fault. Nothing could possibly be that baby's fault. I think that's something that, I was having a hard time dealing with for a little while. See, I'm getting quieter because this is something I don't like talking about. But like the original plan before I got pregnant was the year that the baby was born, I was supposed to be applying to medical school. We are living in a house that's owned by my man's grandma. So we don't have to pay rent. We're just going to save up money so that we can buy a townhome in the state that I was going to go to school in. And the first year I was going to do online. So this year I would be doing online medical school so that next year I would be able to move to, I think the school was in Oregon. And that was the plan. But then I got pregnant. And I wasn't trying to be in medical school with a baby. That was just going to be too much. And then I wouldn't be able to work as much to save as much money so that we can buy a house. And I was not about to pay rent in that state. So it was just, I would much rather pay a mortgage than rent because at least I'm working towards owning something. And then after I move, I can still make money off the property. You know what I mean? So that just messed up the plan. So for the longest, I shouldn't say I blamed my baby, but I was most definitely sitting here like, dang, if I didn't have a baby, I would most definitely be doing something totally different than what I'm doing right now. I'm about to start a cake decorating business. That's crazy. If you'd have told me that 2 years ago, I would have looked at you like, I mean, sure, but I'm not going to medical school for real. Like, I'm not doing it. Why? A baby, Jesus, So for the longest, I shouldn't say I blamed him, but I almost definitely was just like, ugh, I would not be who I am today if it wasn't for this baby. And something I had to deal with, but it's okay. I'm still happy. I love my baby so much. I love him so much. And I'm happy I have him. He is the light of my life, really. He holds my heart. He has my heart. So with all that being said, I'm done. Just know that a baby is a blessing. You're a crown mama. And just find the blessings in life and don't focus on what's missing in life, because what all is missing has probably been replaced with something that you don't even realize is a blessing. Just keep that in mind. I love you, girl. Have a blessed day. Or if you don't want to be blessed, have an amazing day. And I will see you in the next one. Remember, you're royalty. Bye-bye.